And my loaner computer has a horrible picture. Wow.
Hey, hey, this
Okay.
is Malika of Evanston Live TV, and I have with me a woman who has become, I believe, an overnight viral activist. Just, I mean, heaven sent,
You're
heaven
funny.
sent, LaShandra Rayfield. Girl,
Hello. Overnight. Okay.
I mean, well, first of all, to address the man in the yellow t-shirt in the video, before we jump into it, who told you you've done nothing for this country, said some other foul things. You are a woman who is educating our youth, putting curriculum together for our youth. You're a brilliant woman, a strong woman.
Well, God bless you, sis. Seriously. Yeah. It's a
Goodness, goodness. Okay, for everyone who has not seen the video, LaShandra was on the beach, Evanston Beach, at the Lighthouse.
mm-hmm.
Now, I walk that path along there for exercise all the time. And yeah, it's just disturbing. So this white family, they're sitting out on the beach. They pull out their Confederate flag. They've got their swastika tattoos out. They got their shirts off. They didn't look like they were from Evanston, but you know, I could be wrong.
And just so you know, I was not there at the beginning. I saw them posted online. So someone had already posted, but they didn't say anything.
Well, I'm glad you went down there
Yeah.
and addressed them. Because it didn't look like anyone else was addressing it.
No, that was not the case. And actually, honestly, I went down, I saw the post, I'm on the Evanston mamas, all the different mamas groups in Evanston. And I saw the picture and I was like, no, not Evanston. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's not true. And then, so, like, it's kind of like the Evanston mom kind of text tree kind of goes off and people were trying to figure out whether or not this is real or not. And it got back to me that someone had communicated with the mayor's office and that the response from the mayor's office was that it was fake news. And so I said, okay, well, I said, all right, I'm already getting dressed. So I was like, let's just go down here and see if it's fake. The hope is it's going to be fake. And I even told my children, I say, guys, we're going to go for this ride. I say, hurry up, get dressed. We're going to go for this ride to see if this is fake. And if it's not, that's a blessing. I'll treat you guys to ice cream afterwards. Nice excursion out the house, right? So I did not go to the beach with any intention of finding anything because literally I moved to Evanston for a sense of safety. And so it had never dawned on me that would be a reality in Evanston. I moved back here for my family, for the sense of safety and community that I received when I was here in undergrad, and actually when I walked up on the beach, which is kind of amazing because you could spot the towel from the hill going down to the beach. So the fact that the mayor said that he had not seen it, he hadn't walked the length of the beach. You didn't need to walk the length of the beach. If you stood on the perch, you would have seen it. And before I went down the dune to where the lifeguards sat, you could see the red with the blue stripes hanging over the back. And so if someone had told you that there was a Confederate flag hanging, you would know, okay, that red with those blue stripes must be the flag. Okay. Perhaps if you hadn't been told that, you weren't given context, it could be any other towel. But because he was given context, I don't know why he didn't see what I saw. And so when I walked over, I kept my distance. I do recognize we are in a pandemic. And I actually started talking to my Facebook Live. I did not address them. They addressed me first. And so since they opened the door, I walked through it.
Really? What did they say? Because I don't think I saw that part.
I know that it was hard to hear, and I recognize that because, again, I was trying to maintain my distance. And I also recognize my Blackness on that beach. You know what I mean? And so stepping close to anybody,
you're the only one,
can be seen as a threat, right? And I actually left my 6'4", 300-pound son at home on purpose.
That's a good idea.
Okay. And so the gentleman said, "You got a problem? Is there a problem?" And I said, oh, actually, yes, there is. And you can hear in the video, I'm like, yeah, actually, I do have a problem. And then I start talking about, and before I could actually articulate,
LaShandra, your video is frozen. I think we've lost some reception.
I was definitely very happy that I didn't bring my son with me. You know, like I said, just being Black in a suburb, you definitely have to be cognizant of, you know, how you look, what appearance looks like. And so I didn't address them initially. I was talking to my live feed, and I was saying, "This is where I live. Look at where I live, guys." And when I said that, the gentleman, one of the sons, I found out later that they were the sons of the woman at the far end of the video, said, "Do you have a problem?" And I said, actually, yes, I do. And so I started to address them, but as you saw in the video, the man in the yellow shirt kind of interjected and became a distraction, because I was there to fight someone else. And I definitely didn't think I was going to have to fight someone whose melanin was close to mine. And so I was trying to be dismissive, and you can watch the video, and the conversation about him and how he feels is another whole conversation. You know, that's a conversation that's one about internalized hatred towards racism, and we can't get into that. That's a bigger conversation than today. And the fact that he felt okay to attack a woman of color, to speak to me like that in front of his children and other children, I thought was just utterly ridiculous and saddening, because I do work in education. I have been an educator since 2002, and I'm very, very, very aware of how children learn by association and observation. You know, and so what they observed yesterday was, it was damaging, I think, for them, or awakening. I'm hoping hopefully that was an awakening moment, but it definitely could have damaging effects. But back to the flag at hand, I guess. So yeah, the interaction about the flag, I mean, it's very clear on the video. The interaction about the flag was just me explaining to them, and also to the onlookers, that this flag was indeed equivalent to the swastika. You know, in this country, that is exactly what that flag means. If you go to South Africa and someone is riding around in a truck with the Afrikaner flag, they know specifically what that flag means to the Black people in that country. You know, I should not have to defend myself against a flag that represents not only traitors, but the enslavement of my people. I shouldn't have to do that in 2020. And having to do that not only towards the whites that were on the beach, but also this man of color on the beach, was just like, I really can't wrap my mind around it, because I'm a very hopeful and optimistic person. You know, I really want to see the best in, and I really do try to attack every situation through the lens of an educator, because you are what you eat. You know what I mean? So, you know, one of my favorite authors, James Baldwin, you know, he talks about the fact that white supremacist mentality didn't just damage those that it oppressed, it also caused harm to those that benefited from it. You know, and I recognize that. And so because I recognize that, you saw me on the video, ask the man, please, if you say you're not racist, explain yourself. Mm-hmm. Teach me then. If I'm misreading you, if I'm incorrect, then please explain to me, then what does that towel mean? What do those shorts mean? You know, explain it to me, because I'm here, unfortunately, to, of course, defend myself and defend the rights of the people who look like me. But I also want to say, I don't want to prejudge you. I don't want you to prejudge me. So please help me understand why it is that towel, that AKA flag, why did it have to hang here today? And when you can't explain that, that tells me a lot, you know. And so you saw me offer to even pay for the towel. You know, I'm like, look, if you're telling me that you're not racist, you have the opportunity right now to redeem yourself. Then redeem yourself, young man. Do that. I don't need your money. I didn't say you needed it. I'm offering to compensate you for your loss. If you were misinformed when you ordered this off the internet, because I don't believe they sell Confederate flags in any stores that I know of. So, so let's compensate you for your loss. And you had a moment of ignorance. Let's help enlighten you. But that didn't happen, you know. So I said my piece and I left. And I have to say, I left definitely in a huff. You know, it takes a minute for your body and mind to process stuff, you know. So when I got home, I had to sit in my car for a few minutes and calm down. You saw my after video where I was like, you know, it made no sense for me to have to drive. I live almost on the border of Chicago. That picture was posted prior to me seeing it. It had been already online for however many minutes prior to me seeing it. But yet I was the first person to arrive. Like, I'm fully grateful for the women from the anti-racist group that showed up and backed me up. I felt like I didn't know they were there initially until I heard turned around. And I said, "Oh, there are people behind me," because I was trying to focus my attention on the flag itself. But the fact that I had to go to that beach and I had to do that by myself, it just, I mean, I've just been angry since yesterday. Just been angry, you know. And even to have my integrity questioned when I'm sitting here defending, I was like, are you serious? I have people in my family who serve currently in the armed forces. I have people in my family who have, you know, have passed on, but they've served in previous wars in this country. I know exactly what flag they fight for. I'm the daughter and granddaughter of first responders. I fully support my country and the ideals that it's supposed to hold up. And that's the reason why I had to go and stand up for them. So I'm dealing with my anger, and I'm trying to balance it with my nature to educate and console. But the anger at this point is just, you know, I just don't even, I can't even put it into words. If you can tell, I just don't even, you know, yeah, it's, and I didn't expect this to happen, like as far as the blow up either. And the positive responses, thank you. The trolls, oh my God. You know, so this, you know, this is America. So that's what I guess, that's what this is.
That's what this is. When I had seen the video, I was told that it had happened the day before. And I was like, wow, this happened the day before? No, and I said, it's like one woman out there going off. That's interesting. And I thank you for addressing them. I thank you. And then I think you did a pan, or I saw someone's live did a pan of the beach. And I'm like, everybody else is just laying out, chilling, swimming. I'm like, really? These people got a flag up that represents terrorism and murder. And y'all just like, we good. Life is good. But you know, that's Evanston. When the racism is blatant right there, they're like, oh, it's fine. Yeah. No, it's good. But thank you for going out there and confronting that situation. When I shared the video amongst my network, just about everybody was like, wait, is this real? Is this Evanston? Was this real? Is this Photoshop? Is this, you know, like nobody believed it. So that could be why you were out there pretty much by yourself, because people probably were like, no. Well,
I mean, I told you, I was like, no, let me go out here and just, come on, not Evanston. No.
Right.
You know, I'm like, I mean, I lovingly call this place Mayberry compared to, like, you know, the neighborhoods that I grew up. I'm like, oh, this is my Mayberry. You know, you can walk down the street, your kids can ride their bikes, you know, go sit outside, eat ice cream. Like, this is supposed to be that place that you know, that celebrates and lives up to these liberal ideas of inclusiveness and diversity, you know. And, you know, I intentionally moved here. You know what I mean? I work in the city. Now, I work in some of the worst neighborhoods in Chicago because the demographic that I serve, that's where they live. And so, you know, that's why we fight our battles around education. We go to where the problems are, you know, and we put up, we have schools, 19 campuses across Chicago, where we address the needs of the demographic that is underserved, 16 to 21-year-old Black and brown students and immigrants, And so I do a lot of civic engagement work in the city, and Evanston became my sanctuary from this. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I can go to work, I can fight those battles, I can come home, and I can go woosah. But the fact that I can't go, my son, I have twins, and my son loves riding his bike, and he asked to ride his bike every single day. And I took him on a ride not so long ago up through the trail. He had never gone through Northwestern's campus and gone up there. I said, here, let me take you on this trail. This could be a trail you can ride. Took him up near Lighthouse Beach and said, this is safe for you, son, to do so. And then a few weeks later, this happens. And so that's just disheartening to me, because I'm going, I moved here to protect their innocence. And then they have to go face this, And just so we know, I don't hold any ill will towards the lifeguards. They were children. I hold ill will towards the policies that are in place in Evanston and allow for hate, so images of hate to be hung in public property, and then not give those workers for the park district the power to remove it. That's the problem that I have. People were like, oh, the lifeguards, they called the police on you. I was like, no, that teenager, I'm assuming he was a teenager, that addressed me, and I said, okay, I'm about to leave. And I heard him on the phone. I was sure he was calling the police, and I did hear the police showed up afterwards. He's a teenager. He knows no better how to address an irate Black woman on the beach than anybody else out there. And I wouldn't expect him to. So I didn't direct any of my energy towards him, nor the ones that were at the gate that were collecting the tokens. They didn't get any of my negative energy. And then when I left, I said, I apologize to you, teenage lifeguards, because I did not mean to use profanity. My filter had fallen off at a certain point. And I said to them, but this is a lesson that you also need to learn. But shame on Evanston for putting them in that situation and not providing them with backup, not providing them with an adult to come out there and say, look, you have to leave this beach because this flag is offensive and hateful, and it causes trauma everywhere it's hung, and it makes people feel unsafe. Shame on Evanston for not providing that backup for those kids, And so I don't have any ill will towards the young man that called the police on me. I would expect that in that situation, but we have to get to the root of the problem, and the root of the problem is the policy. So, so if we get to the root of the problem, then I think we'll be fine. Then you give those kids some recourse, some type of fallback when they're faced with this type of situation. They're not put in a position where they have to be on the front lines of a battle that they don't want to fight and shouldn't be fight. My children stood behind me on purpose because I'm on the front lines, not them.
My question for the teenage lifeguard and the ones taking the tokens may not have seen the Confederate flag, or may not have, I don't know if they were in view of it. But I'm sure the lifeguard did see it. So my question is, what went through his mind before you got there?
Right.
Before you got there, like, did he call somebody to say, they've put this Confederate flag out, there might be an issue. There's going to be some problems up here. We might need some security, some help, because that symbol is almost like a threat.
Right.
To me, I see that as a threat. So if a white person was to start waving that flag at me, I see that as a threat. So
absolutely.
As quick as they are to call the police on us for for nothing, for them to put out a flag, that's cause to call the police.
Right.
My life feels threatened because they're waving the symbol of murder and terrorism and hung it up on the fence to let me know I approve of you getting killed and terrorized. That's what that flag says. So yeah.
I have heard from, again, like I've had lots of people reach out to me, and I apologize for not being able to cite my sources. As educators, we have to cite our sources. But I have had people reach out to me that have said that the communication that they had with the lifeguards was that they did try to figure out a way to get them to be removed. But when talking to the administration, to the park district, to those that were the higher ups, the response was, it's not hurting anybody. It's freedom of speech. there's nothing that can be done about it. So they were left with no recourse but to allow it to stay there. And so because I was told by members that were in the group that showed up after me with the Black Lives Matters movement, posters, they spoke to the lifeguards, and the lifeguards said they thanked them for coming out. So as much as I felt exposed and, and by myself in the battle, they felt the same way because they couldn't do anything to even stop that from occurring. And again, these are children. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so, so I did, and I'm hoping that recall was true, that what they told me was accurate. I hope that that's the truth, that they did see that, because I mean, we do, we live in Evanston, you live in Evanston, our kids have friends of every different color, of every different, hair color, every different, identity, you know what I mean? Like this is supposed to be the rainbow haven of the world. We love everybody in Evanston, and then, but your actions need to follow your words. There's they need to follow your words. And that's why I was so angry afterwards, is because there is almost an inherent distrust of non-people of color by myself, by other people who have melanin in their skin. And that distrust gets reinforced every time we're asked to stand up and fight something and you don't stand up before us. Why are you waiting for me to lead the charge? I was born in this color. From the moment I came out the womb, I was a threat to society. And from the moment I can comprehend, I was taught how to exist in a society that hated me. You know how tiring that is? Mm-hmm. The fact that I have to have conversations with my sons about how to engage with the police, and my daughters about how to engage with the police. How many fair-skinned allies have had to have that conversation? Or have you been told you have the right of freedom of speech? You can say what you want to say. You can insult the police. You can practically spit on the police. You can tell them you're not going to comply and you get to walk home. But the reality of it is that I've lost a friend to the police. The reality is I've had the police pull guns on me in my driveway. I have panic attacks when police cars pull behind me. So that flag represented so much more, obviously, than just the flag. Mm-hmm. It pulls up internalized cultural trauma that affects all of us of color. And the reality of it is that racism is not my problem to get rid of. It is yours, white people. Mm-hmm. It is an ideology that is built on lies. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you are allowing yourself to constantly be held back, you stunt your growth because you cannot accept the past as it is. Mm-hmm. And so therefore you cannot move forward. I'm dumbfounded by it. And those people who say that it was just a towel, she out there to grab. I was called an attention grabber yesterday. I was called an anti-patriot yesterday. I was called, a call for beating me up was put out there online. I was called a racist yesterday. And I'm sitting here going, are you all looking through a lens that is different? What's the lens you're looking through? Because there's no way that a swastika would have been hung on that fence and would have lasted a second. It wouldn't have lasted a second. Exactly. And you can't tell me in Evanston that there was not a Jewish person on that beach. You can't tell me that in Evanston there was not anyone on that beach that had Black or brown, or other in their families. Because I know where I live. We're a multicultural neighborhood. So even though I may have been the darkest person on that beach, I don't really think that I was, me and that gentleman that talked to me, I don't think I was the only person of color on that beach. They just blended in well. And that speaks a lot. So I'm tired of the apologies. If I hear one more sorry, I almost will scream because I get it. I get it. Empathy is needed. I get that. But people have to understand that sorries mean nothing without action and without change. And if you're telling me you're sorry, but you're waiting for a person of color to lead the charge, then you're not really sorry. You're complicit.
has anyone identified that white family, who they are, name? Does anybody?
Not that I know. Not that I know of. I probably need to take a screenshot and like zoom into them. It was said that the woman in the dark suit, was the mother of the group, and she was visiting, and that she herself was from Evanston but no longer lived here. And she was visiting her adult-ish children, you know. And so that the gentleman that I was speaking to were her children. But she apparently, and this again, I recognize this hearsay, but she apparently had no idea that flag, that towel would cause so much trouble. Had no idea. And the tattoos that are on the people, she had no idea that was. I was like, really? I can't do anything about, they're 20 something years old. I said, okay, well, how about you raise them right in the first place?
Yeah. Educate them, inform them.
You know what I'm saying? Because that didn't happen just yesterday. That wasn't the first time that towel came out.
And it's been some conversation at the kitchen table.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So no, don't backpedal because you got called out. And that whole thing, you're recording me. Her whole emphasis was on the fact that I was recording her.
Yeah, because she's afraid of losing her job.
Yeah, but that's okay then. You should do better. You know better, you should do better. And the woman who was next to me that was trying, she's like, it's okay. It's okay. You know better, don't you? In your heart, you know better. And I wanted to turn to her and be like, ma'am, no, they don't. Because if they did, they would do better.
She's just trying to get off the beach safely.
Yeah.
That's what she's
doing. I'm going to watch them from now on. I don't know you.
Right.
I don't know what your politics are. I don't know where you land on the side of this. So you telling me that you're going to watch them means what to me? Absolutely nothing. That's why I didn't even engage with her. And you heard me say, please don't tone police me. Because you weren't insulted. That was to her and to the woman in the black suit. You don't get to tone police me. Because you didn't feel threatened today. You couldn't have. With a woman standing halfway across the beach with children. I threatened you. How? But I did. Because the flag you were flying on the fence represented the lynching, the murdering, the raping, the dragging behind cars. We can keep going. So, I don't know. I have no idea where this is going to go. I can tell you that I'm tired.
I'm curious. Well, I know the news stations are reaching out to you, so maybe somebody will identify the family members. And I have to tell you, I know the post that I was putting out there, my focus was on dude in the yellow t-shirt. Like, you and I were talking before, I was like, now the white people, it's almost expected. I'm like, they're going to do what they're going to do. But dude in the yellow shirt, I don't know if he's black, if he's Middle Eastern, but like you said, he's like darker than us. I was like, somebody take a shoe off and just throw it at him right quick on his live, please.
He was so hostile. He was so hostile. I was worried that he actually would have done something because he was so, and the fact that he got more irate than the white family was just like, I was so taken aback.
He shook their hand.
Yes, I know.
Shook their hand. Yeah. People, hear me. The man in the yellow t-shirt shook their hand.
Yeah.
And
you know what that did? What that did right there, and in that very moment, what he did was he canceled they learned nothing because he validated them in that moment.
Right.
So what that meant, they accepted me as the stereotype, and they gave him validation, which meant that when I walked away, they learned nothing from that encounter. Everything that I said went in one ear and out the other because they had the one black man or one man of color on the beach say it's okay to be the way that you are. To them, that gave them validation in what they were doing. And so then I become, what was her response? Why are you yelling? Because you're on the other side of the beach, lady. That's why I'm yelling. And my little snarky remark about the fact that I'm a teacher. This is my teacher voice. I need the students in the back of the class to hear what I am saying, meaning you, lady, learn, But in that moment, he validated their behavior. And I know that it will happen again with him because that justified it. And the fact that I'm outdone by the fact that it's okay for you to attack a female verbally like that. It's okay for you to attack a fellow person of color like that. know, it's okay for you to, I mean, he walked to the lifeguard, but then was in my face, you know, swearing. And I was just like, okay, I'm again, very, very glad I did not bring my son with me, because the story would have been slanted,
Right.
you know? And so you're right. I'm so outdone. And we need to have a whole lecture series on how to deal with internalized hate,
Yeah.
internalized racism.
That's a whole nother Zoom. His role, he was supposed to be out there protecting you. And he was out there before you, and he was fine sitting next to them with a Confederate flag. I would love to know who he is. Please, yeah. America, somebody, let us know who the man in the yellow t-shirt is, because to me, that hurt more than freaking anything. I was like, he's supposed to be protecting her. That is his role. He should have been addressing them before she even got there.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and his response, there are children here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, exactly. There are children here. Mm-hmm. You know, and it is our job to educate and to show them how it is. The reason why I brought my children with me, I wasn't, of course, you know, I'm like, first I thought it was fake. So I was like, okay, come on, kids, come with me. When we realized it was real, I made sure they were behind me. Again, I say again, like, I stand on the front lines, they don't. So they had to witness that. You know, they had to witness that, because I expect for them to do something similar, to call it out when they see it. Otherwise, it keeps getting swept under the carpet. And that's the problem right now. The reason why, and there's so many facets to this. We could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. And it's like, in the level of empathy that I have in my heart for even those that hate me. And I praise my grandparents for raising me to love my neighbor despite of themselves. I really do praise them for that. And my parents for doing the same. And I really do try to live up to that, you know. And so my way of dealing with that is to, again, come at it from the lens of an educator. Because I'm going to assume first that you're acting from a place of ignorance. Okay, and so that's why I said to the guy, I offered him an opportunity. I'm offering an opportunity to explain yourself, because I feel like if I don't do that, then you know, shame on me. You know, people do live in isolated, ignorant bubbles. You know, they do. We have to understand that people do not share the same access to culture, to information that we do when we live in even a place like Evanston and a metropolitan area like Chicago. Remember, the majority of the country is rural and small town. So we have to understand that people that we're trying to reach don't have the same exposure that we do when we live close to an urban epicenter. And so in understanding that, it just makes the way in which you address the situation more, I guess, open-minded. I'm trying to come to you with a growth mindset. You know, as long as you're not threatening me violently, you know, in that moment, I can try to come to you human to human. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's always my approach. I'm gonna approach you like a fellow human being, and then I will change according to your response to the situation. Then I will, okay, you know, and of course, guard always up, but we do have to understand that there's a reason, and this is not to take away from anything that happened yesterday, but there is a reason why white America feels neglected or why they feel betrayed. There is a reason behind that. And that reason, I think, is intentional. Just like you had with the slave owner you had the slave owner and you had the overseers, the non-land owning whites, the intentional pitting them against us, that's intentional. And so they only see it through that very similar lens. You're out to get something that I need to survive. And the reality of it is that we're both out to survive. And we're more closely related, poor Black and brown, poor white, than we are to the oligarchy that's running this country. But they have been so miseducated that they see it through, for example, 45's lens. He can't tell you how much a gallon of milk costs, how much a pack of diapers costs. how much a dozen eggs costs. When's the last time he saw his electric bill? Had to balance a car note and his medication. But your brown neighbor understands that struggle. And so if I'm not saying that we have to be in any way compromising. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying is that we go into every battle eyes wide open and understand that they have been miseducated too. And so I start off with my educator's hat on. And when they go left, okay, I'm gonna go left right there with you, But I will start off there, and then we'll see where it goes after that. So, I tried to pay the man for that damn towel. Tried. I was like, I got $30 here, man. I got 20, got 30. I had $50 in my hand. And I brought cash to pay to get on the beach. I knew I was gonna get arrested, by the way, if I stayed, because technically speaking, I was trespassing. You see what I'm saying? Like, because they weren't accepting cash on the beaches and we didn't have our tokens, technically I would have been hauled off because I was trespassing, and they wouldn't.
Because the people running the table with the tokens, they knew what you came there for, and they was like, go on in, go. Yeah, go take care of that.
Yeah. I was like, I just want to see something real quick. I was like, I'll be right back. And I went, and I ran to that. I was like, I'll be right back. And I ran in.
You were there.
Yeah. I came in gym shoes, and like I didn't have a swimsuit at first. I was like, no beach towels, nothing. I was all by my lonesome with my phone and my gym shoes on, with my 5'9" chocolate self growing up on that beach. They knew, they had to have known. So what can you do? This fight continues, girl. We're gonna be in this and my children will be on, and it's so sad that we keep saying that, because it's the same fight. We could turn off all these screens and get rid of the years, and we could have conversations with people, and you'd be like, what year was that? And you would think it was today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what's sad about it. So, but
Well, my message out to everybody is, if this happens, and I'm sure it's going to happen again, because this is becoming, the video went viral. So it's going to be some more of them coming out with their Confederate flags. So the next live video, people need to be like, it's happening right now. Get down here right now. Right. And we can all like come in droves and be there. So it's not just one strong warrior fighting the battle by herself. But thank you so much for your time today, LaShandra. Thank you for having the courage and not having the courage, but just going for what's right. I mean, it was just what's right.
Yeah.
And trying to educate them. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for showing support. I really do appreciate it. Seriously. The amount of support that I have received is a little overwhelming. I stay in my little bubble, with COVID. I'm not one who, I wasn't out like the whole attention seeking thing. I was like, really? But I do thank you. And I thank those in the community that have really shown support. People have asked about protecting my home. People have asked if I needed anything. People have even offered me money. I'm like, please, no, I would like money, but no. I do appreciate that. And I do, and look, and that was just one moment in time, and I happened to get there first. So who's to know what would have happened if it wasn't me? So, I do want to say that also, like, I got there first, as far as those that saw well, maybe that's not true. Hold on. People on the beach saw it before I got there. So let me back up.
Sure did. And Evanston needs to wake up to that.
Yeah.
Because they was just out there just chilling on the beach with a Confederate flag laid out on the fence.
Yeah, let me backpedal. I strike that from the record. You're absolutely right. I was not the first person there. I was the first person to say something. So,
Right. Well, thank you so much. And yes, please be safe. And we're all here for you. I pray to God nothing happens.
I put people on blast. So I posted just recently some people who had said some negative things. I was like, the world is watching. Nothing better happen to me or mine.
Okay.
And I posted that I take screenshots. You want to hide behind what have you? People are making fake Facebook pages yesterday. I'm like, wow, y'all creative with y'all hatred. Just creative with your hatred. But I have to say the mama warriors, the gentleman who called for me to get beat up, women went at him. They found his business page. I mean, before I was able to put my phone down, they had found where the man worked, where he lived. I said, woo. Okay, that's some allyship right there. They were like, no, we on this page right now. Screenshotted the threat that he made towards me. This is the person you want to get business from. And I was like, go ahead, people. I didn't have to say a word. I was, thank you. I was so grateful, and I was like, I posted it just so it could be known. Like, these are, trolls will say things and hide behind the anonymity of the internet. So I'm like, no, everybody gets called out today, because if something happens to me, it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go. I don't want to become another Sandra Bland. I'm not. I love myself and everything about myself, and I love my children and everything about them. I love my home. So you heard it here. Anything happens to me, it wasn't me. So there you have it. So the world is watching. We're gonna be all right over here. Team Rayfield good.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm sure we'll have you back on the show for follow-up, because I get the feeling this is about to turn into a movement. It's been wake-up call after wake-up call. So, God chose you. No,
I guess so.
Go to the beach.
Yeah, I guess that was right. Well, come to the sit-in with your mask on tomorrow. Come to the beach tomorrow with your masks on. We'll keep our distance, but we'll be seen. I definitely feel like we need to make Lighthouse Beach a Black beach now. We need to go head out there every time we go to the beach. You need to roll up, people, get all your little barbecues, and go. And bring your little Bluetooth speaker. I'm thinking Lighthouse may be my beach from now on. So since because I fully believe, I'm sorry, I'm allowed to be uncomfortable. No. Let's make you uncomfortable. I want to share this feeling of discomfort with the rest of you. If you sit here like this with this towel, then I definitely can come out there with my red, black, and green. I'll have my little reggae music playing in my speaker with all these dreadlocks flowing. And I have a large family on the south side of Chicago. We will have us a whole beach day. Okay, so and my Evanston, my Rainbow Evanston family, we be out there too. And I will proudly sit out there as often as possible to make everybody out there feel like they are not welcome, just to let them understand the feeling, how that feels to walk onto a place and be like, huh. Because I know what it feels like to be the only Black person somewhere. Do you know what it feels like to be the only white person somewhere? That's a reality we live with all the time. I'm the majority of the time. And what does that do to your psyche? What does that do to your anxiety? So yes, I say we make at Lighthouse Beach a little chocolate going forward. So if anyone want to have a beach night, a beach day, let's go. After tomorrow, we can go back out to is it gonna rain on Saturday? Get our chairs.
That's a good idea.
You know what I'm saying? Get our chairs. I have a whole portable grill on my back porch that got wheels on. Let's go. We can have us a little barbecue out there. Get some electric slide. You want to talk? We could do the whole thing for you. Put the whole little show on. So is this what you think we are? We're gonna come on out, show you how to do the wobble. That's what we're gonna do.
Yes, I love it. Yeah. That's a plan. We should plan an event.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a beach day.
Yeah.
We don't have to protest. Our presence is the protest. You see what I'm saying? Someone was telling me, take a rainbow flag. I was take a rainbow flag. Me and mine are the flag. You know what I'm saying? Like my melanin is my protest sign. Yeah. And so no, we can go out there. No, we don't need to protest. We can go out there and just be. And bring our flags and just be. And enjoy ourselves and show them what, since you have this image of us being these monstrous people, you see us in our element with our children, with our loved ones, how we entertain each other, how we have fun with each other, and hopefully somebody walk away and say, oh, okay, look, they're humans just like us. you know. So we're gonna plan this beach day.
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right, ladies. So I'm gonna let you go because I know
Alrighty.
we got some news stations trying to contact you.
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
Fox ain't it. That's not happening. So I will respectfully respond to her call and let her know, but that's not happening.
All right.
You know, because that's not happening. But thank you so much, seriously, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, LaShandra. Thank you, and I'll be in touch to talk about the curriculum and
Definitely.
too.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye. See you guys tomorrow at 2. Okay. All righty. Bye-bye.
Okay, you all, this is Malika, Evanston Live TV. That was LaShandra, warrior, soldier, educator, informing our children, out there fighting the battle. An amazing woman. But yes, people, if y'all can find out who the man in the yellow t-shirt is, yeah, we would like to know who he is, his name. Does he live in Evanston? He's a danger to society, definitely. All right, you guys have a great day, and please, please, please educate, inform, love, get rid of the hate, get rid of the ignorance. And y'all, let's just continue the fight. It's not over.